Hello and welcome to a very special video I have for you today. This is, well, you've seen the title, it is a mock powerlifting competition. So I've been working with a coach for the last 16 weeks and we decided to do a max out at the end, see what my maxes are like. So we decided to run it as a mock powerlifting competition because it's something I would like to get into in the future. I've been training the big 3S squat, bench, deadlift for a while. I think it's only right if I truly test myself on this stage and make my debut next year, but that's in the future. Let's talk about the present now. So going into this, the first lift we're doing is squats. Obviously in the powerlifting competition it goes squats, bench, deadlift. So doing it that order, keeping it as close to competition as we possibly can. For my opener we are doing 130 kilos. This is a weight I'm very comfortable with. Already before I've squatted 140 kilos, so I'm confident with 130 kilos on my back as an opener to do, as I've done more in the weeks gone by. I think it was a good way to start at, as it's almost like another warm up to my next lift, which we'll get into. Coming in the next lift, we're doing a squat at 145 kilos. This is a 5 kilo personal PB. So this lift moved pretty fine as well, pretty comfortable with it under the bar. I'm happy with how my form looks from the side. It looked good, the depth was good, which is important. I'm not like half squatting or quarter squatting it. This would get full marks in the competition, so I'm happy with how my form was. And yeah, happy with this lift. Obviously a PB of 5 kilos, and yeah, this felt good. What I was saying about the opener is like a warm-up basically. So how I do my warm-ups, it goes like 8-5-3 almost. I'll explain that later on. But coming in at the final lift I do, which is 155 kilos. So this is a 15 kilo PB. I'm happy with how this move got it up. It looked alright, it moved alright. I could have done maybe 160 maybe for really pushing it, but I want to quickly break down this lift because I'm glad I caught it from the side angle rather than the front, which I wanted to, but I think side is important to really see my form. Now in the lift it was turning into a bit of a good morning squat. I was leaning over, bending over, my lower back was taking over rather than my legs, so which highlights to me that I need to work on my building up my hamstrings, my quads and my glutes, because naturally the strongest muscle will take over the lift. In this instance it's my lower back, and actually when I done that lift about 10-15 minutes later I felt a bit of a pain in my lower back. Not like, oh, this is ending, I can't do my deadlifts later on. I was like, I haven't felt this pain before. When I watched back the footage, I could understand why, because my lower back's took over more than my legs, which is natural to happen when there's a heavy load. Form breakdown does occur. You can't have perfect form when you're maxing out. It's simply impossible to do. If anyone has a video of anyone doing a max out, like RPE 10 lift with perfect form, please send it over to me as well, because your form's always going to break down under very, very heavy load. This is almost like ego lifting because you're maxing out, you know what I mean? But enough about the squats, moving into the next lift, bench press. Now I've included a little my warm up here, it's the one that we just filmed to see what it was like. 80 kilos for a single, moved fine, happy with how it moved. The opener I was doing was 90 kilos. This is a weight I've been testing for a single in the last 3 to 4 weeks. I was happy with how it moved on this session. So my objective on the bench is to get 2 plates. So here we go with the 100 kilo attempt. As you can see, I don't get the lift unfortunately. Bit disappointing, I was a bit like, fuck, you know what I mean? I was like, God, because the bench press for me is a lift which requires the most improvement. The 90 kilo single that I done the opener moved fine, which gave me the confidence that I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do 100. But I just think I just lost tightness on the lift as well. But the good thing about it, looking back, it shows me what I need to improve on. And one of my goals, well, for the end of the year, was to get 100 kilo 2-plate bench. Now, from the time of recording this, I have about 5 weeks before it's the start of 2023, so this gives me plenty of time to address stuff, work on my form. I think I'll run the 5-3-1 method for a while. Obviously, I'll use some accessories to build up, because there was a bit of an imbalance. Obviously, everyone has muscular imbalances, but mine was showing quite a bit. So So I'm going to do some like dumbbell pressing. I obviously will still do bench press and maybe some Swiss bar pressing or some close grip to build up my triceps a bit more, as since my arms are quite long for my build, my triceps tend to take over and get involved more. I can feel them more than my chest when I do bench press, for example. So we decided to go again, test 100 kilos again. We decided to move the pins up a bit higher, because it was like almost I was using too much energy to push off the pins. Yes, I'm gonna lift off from my coach, but I was always like pushing like I'm doing like a self lift off. So we go for it again, and unfortunately I just don't get it at all. Like, it was unfortunate, but you have to move on, and I'm grateful for like what happens. But also forgot to mention, I kind of shot myself in the foot with the opener and my second attempt. There was only like 2 to 3 minutes rest, so I was kind of jumping the gun on that. I just wanted to get on with the lift, but hey ho, that is all she wrote for the bench press. Only got 90 kilos, but by the end of the year I will have a 100 kilo bench. Moving into the deadlifts, my favourite lift. Now, in the weeks gone by, we tested my opener 175 kilos. We decided to go for 170. Now I'll explain why, and it'll be like a little warm up I do. So we'll take deadlift warm up for example. This is a warm up principle I apply to near enough every lift. I'm doing deadlift, the first opener's going to be 170 kilos. So to build up to that deadlift, to warm up for that, obviously I'm doing deadlifting, I will do 8 reps at 60 kilos, 5 reps at 100 kilos, 3 reps or triple at 140, and then the 170. So the 170, because we've got 2 lifts later on that heavier, acts almost as like a warm-up for me. So to warm up, prepare myself for later lifts. This 170 kilos moved great. No form breakdown, no nothing, almost like a perfect lift. I was very happy with how it moved. So getting into the second lift now with my deadlifts. 190 kilos, this is a PB of 7.5 kilos. The most I lifted before was 182.5, and the form wasn't too good on that. I was almost like kneeing it up with my quad. Now as you can see from this 190 kilos, moved great again, no breakdown in form. Wasn't even slow off the ground. I was very happy with how this went, and watching it back to footage I was like, yeah, that's really good. It's like probably like an RPE 8 maybe. It moved fine as well, there's no breaking down. I'm not like kneeing it up or anything like that. I was happy with how the form moved, and it gave me a hell of a lot of confidence going into my final lift of this day, which is 200 kilo deadlift. Now if you've been following me for a while, watching my videos, you will see that I've been doing a almost playlist or documentary or whatever you want to call it, this little series. I've just used loads of fancy terms to describe a series there, but anyways, like a series I've been doing of building up my deadlift to 200 kilos, and this is the final test. Can I lift the 200 kilos? Can I lift the weight that was a main target for me for the past 4 months? One I've been thinking about hitting. I've been having this visual in my head of me actually lifting this weight, believe it or not. I've wrote about it, and I get the lift. Very happy with how it moved. There was no breakdown in form as well. There's even at such a high weight for me. Yeah, to other people may not be weight, but this is a lot of weight to me. 4.5 plates, 200 kilos, 440 pounds. This isn't like lightweight to me. It's near enough 3 times my body weight as well. And I was very happy with how this moved pretty well. If I was to say what my max would be on the deadlift, it'd probably be about 205 kilos. I was happy with how it moved. Yeah, it was like a bit of a grindy rep, but that's what's going to be at a very high weight, and very happy with how this day went overall. It gives me a lot of confidence going into the new year, and we'll see where I will end up with my big 3 lifts. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, catch you on another video.